G'day YouTube, Warbles on a lot here. With part of the hazard reduction burn solo operation series. That stuff out there is the area that I tried to burn for number 21, as you can see. Some of it was still burning the next day. And running along there you can see the boundary of the burn. On the right hand side we have country that I've been field slashing, and we're just about also on the boundary of the field slashing because quite honestly in there it's too rocky for a blade and too tough for the strings, so that country there gets burnt whenever I'm feeling brave. And tonight it's time for feeling brave, I guess. We'll just go for a bit of a walk along the boundary of burn 21, and it doesn't look like it's much different in there, but now we walk into the country that hasn't been burnt, you can see that it is a fair bit different. Right, this is the country that hasn't been burnt, and this is what I'm going to do today. So there's a bit of a special preparation going on, as well as just a wet line. And you know, the wet line I put along this little track here absolutely successfully contained the fire I was trying to light in here, because it was cold enough that the ground was just too wet to let it go. So I suppose I might as well show you some of the bits that did burn fairly heavily. Down here, this was all serrated tussock, probably waist high. This is much more clear and open than it was. So here we go. As you can see, I have full buckets pre-positioned to do the wet line, and this wet line is going to come along this little track that I'm walking along here, and I'm planning on burning off that side and not burning that side. And because I have trees that could quite conceivably candle and go over there and fall over, I have actually pre-wet the ground. Right? So I've been running around watering all the trees, and I've also raked before I've watered. So we wind up with this effect, with the bark wet for a foot or two above the ground and the leaves all raked away. And in theory that side's not going to burn and that side is. And this is the sort of hand line that's going to anchor the wet line, and I'm hoping to burn all of that stuff. And it should be a pretty spectacular burn because we've got these Xantherias in here, and Xantherias are sort of like bushfire clocks. Any flame goes under them and all this dead dry hair burns. This and that, they haven't been burned since 1958. This one, I burned it when I came up here to live in a tent in 1991. And if you look under here, you can see the burn from back in 91. And it stops about there. So 8 maybe 10 inches. And these things grow half an inch per year. 1991, 2014. So we've got 12 years growth from there to there. So we're going to reset the bushfire clocks, and when they go off, there's a lot of energy in them. So the idea is going to be not to have a crown fire, even though we've got sparklers going off on the forest floor. And if this works, I'll be extremely pleased. If it doesn't work, I'm going to be carrying water and squirting it out of the backpack. I've got 2 of those pre-positioned with all my water for the wetline. And let's face it, if I can't stop that thing from burning at ground level, the whole thing is going to be alight. So it's going to be a fairly interesting little burn. You can't say that I haven't done my best to try and prevent it from getting out of control. Let's just hope I succeed. And I'll probably put the camera on my hat for a head camera while I'm lighting it up, because this could be pretty spectacular. Warbles on like YouTube. We shall see. Ciao.